Let me give you a pre-sermon for a moment. I so much appreciate the Joyce Hess's leadership of the congregation. She was willing to take a third year of the presidency. Some have done that. We wouldn't dare to ask her for a fourth year, but maybe all of you could be persuasive to her. That was kind of a joke, whatever. Okay. She is a committed Jew, a very thoughtful leader, and a wonderful supporter of mine. And I thank you. And we all thank you. We are all grateful that the other officers and board members who are so dedicated some of them are here and contribute so much to our congregation. I am so thankful for Becky and Nathan, who are fantastic musicians, sensitive prayer leaders, and very good friends. Although I forgot their birthdays in July and August, and I'm still, what was it? I even got the wrong months. What was it?
July and August.
Okay, July and August.
Which one is which?
No, but wait a minute. I have no idea. But wait a minute. Hold on a second. Did I ask for your forgiveness?
Yes, you did.
Did I do it in a very formal way?
Yes, you did.
And you accepted it. So you can't bring it up anymore. I can bring it up. Sasha, our cellist, she has a unique status here. She floats in every once in a while. She floats out. But we love having her here. And I want to take note of two special people. I can make a list of all of them. First of all, Bobby Epstein. He created the Epstein Rabbinic Chair that supports my rabbinic compensation, and it means a lot to the congregation. I thank him. And second of all, Kenny of blessed memory and Ann Baum for their support of our music program. Becky and Nathan would not be here without them. So we need to be mindful of the generosity and support that we have from our leaders and some special people. And there are so many other people who are generous in so many different ways. And of course, I appreciate working under Chris Foley, who has really run everything. Is she around? Did she hear that?
Oh, she's always around.
Should we bring her in? I can say that again. Yeah, bring her in for 1 second. Because she never hears what I say about her. I don't care. No, she's not. She won't come in.
Her head's in.
Okay, Chris, you don't have to do anything more. I just said I appreciate working under Chris Foley, who really runs everything. Okay, you can go. You can leave. We don't rehearse any of this, okay? We don't do rehearsals. And most importantly, I'm very thankful to all of you for the opportunity to speak from this pulpit. It's an honor, and I take it very seriously, as you know. We Jews believe in the coming of a Messiah who redeems the Jewish people in the world. This Messiah has not come, and we continue to wait. And one of the questions that has occupied the great minds of our tradition is, when the Messiah finally does come, will the world remain basically the same, or will the world be radically transformed? There is no definitive answer. Nevertheless, there are a variety of teachings relating to what we can expect when the Messiah does come. And this is one teaching from the Talmud, from the great compendium of Jewish tradition, which intrigues me. I quote, "Our sages teach that when the Messiah arrives, the festivals will cease to be observed, but Purim will continue to be observed." I'm onto something here. Now, here is what it is saying, and it's very radical. We will no longer observe Rosh Hashana, the day we affirm the sovereignty of God. We will no longer observe Yom Kippur, the day of atonement, when we struggle with our sinfulness. And all the other holidays will disappear, Passover, Shavuot, and Chanukah. Now, how is this possible? What does Purim teach that is more important than Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur? Why will Purim remain? And parenthetically, I don't want people saying in the streets of Kansas City, in Overland Park, that Rabbi Landy has lost it. He's speaking about Purim and it's Rosh Hashanah. I know what I'm doing. I've not lost it. Be patient with me. Let us review the story of Purim recorded in the book of Esther, so we know what we're talking about. There was a city of Shushan in Persia, and there was a foolish king, Ahasuerus, who basically fires his queen Vashti and goes on a national search for a replacement. Mordecai, a prominent Jew, encourages Esther, his cousin, to apply for the job, and she gets it. But he says to her, don't let on that you are Jewish. There is no indication that she is Jewishly identified by any standard. No mention of any Jewish activities or observances, only that she knew that she was a Jew. Haman, a rabid anti-Semite, gets power, manipulates the king to allow him to commit genocide against the Jews. A decree is sent to the entire kingdom to exterminate the Jews. Mordecai reaches out to Esther and says that she has to do something. But she initially refuses and makes up excuses. She feels safe and secure as the queen whose identity remains secret. But eventually, after several back and forth communications, Mordecai had this message delivered to Esther. I quote, "Do not imagine that you of all Jews will escape with your life by being in the king's palace. On the contrary, if you keep silent in this crisis, relief and deliverance will come to the Jews from another quarter, while you and your father's house will perish. And who knows, perhaps you have attained to royal person for such a crisis." That awakens something in her. She calls upon all the Jews to fast, and she decides that she will go to the king, and she says, "If I am to perish, I shall perish." Through her cleverness and bravery, Haman is exposed. He and his family are executed, and the status of the Jews is affirmed, and we read that the Jews of Persia fight and succeed in killing their anti-Semitic enemies. Mordecai and Esther proclaim the holiday of Purim. Here is another fact that we need to know about this story. The name of God is not even mentioned in the book of Esther. Why should this festival remain and all the others are erased? Because this story is the master story of Jewish survival and Jewish identity. What happened to Esther? Esther, in the end, understood that she is a Jew. The survival of the Jewish people was at stake, that her Jewishness was an inescapable identity and destiny and responsibility. And if she rejected that, the Jews of Persia would have perished, and you and I wouldn't be here. Now, why is it important on this Rosh Hashanah of 5785 to speak about this story? This story, this year, the survival of the Jewish people is challenged. I do not exaggerate. Our people is fragile. Bluster is dangerous. We are being battered from all sides. Israel is at war and Israelis are suffering. And Israel has shown itself to be vulnerable. Anti-Semitism has intensified in our country. I'll give you an example from close to my hometown. An authors panel at Albany, New York Book Festival was canceled after organizers said two panelists refused to share a stage with the Zionist moderator, Zionist being a code for a Jew. The radical left sees Israel as evil. Some, not all, anti-Zionist want Israel to disappear. Pro-Palestinian protesters have ripped down pictures of Israeli hostages. Many young Jews are more comfortable advocating for Palestinian rights than for Israel's right to survive. Israel is seen as an oppressor. The Palestinians are the oppressed. And I'm not here to chastise these young people. They are passionate about their views and very good Jews. Yet I worry about the Jewish future. There is a growing confusion about what it means to be a member of the Jewish people. This year, the original Hebrew Union College in Cincinnati closed down its campus. And that's because there has been 37% decline in the number of Reform rabbinical students. Why? Among Jews who are 18 to 49 age category, fewer feel a connection to the broader Jewish people. Now, what is this Purim story about? It is a story that we tell in every generation. We come to the synagogue each year and the same question is asked of us. What is the state of our Jewishness? How strong is our loyalty? Are we part of the Jewish people or not? What sacrifices are we willing to make? Our coming together every Rosh Hashana is rooted in our core understanding. It is as ancient as the Torah itself, that we are a people, an Am. Our identification with our people is called Jewish peoplehood. It's an important term. Jewish peoplehood is the heart of Judaism. I'm not interested at this moment in our faith, in our observance. I'm interested in our people. The heart of Judaism is the Am, the nation, the people. We are born into the people or we become part of the people through conversion. Being Jewish is first about belonging. And the idea of Jewish peoplehood arose from the very beginning of Jewish memory, when Abraham selected from all the people of the world by God and given his marching orders. He is told, I will make of you a great people. And when the Israelites were about to receive the Torah, it says, all the people, kol ha'am, answered as one, all that the Lord has spoken we will do. The Torah is very clear. We become Jews in community. Remember when Ruth, the first convert, proclaims her identity. She says, your people shall be my people, even before she says, your God shall be my God. I could spend all night giving you examples. We are all Queen Esther on Rosh Hashana of 5785. What is our connection to the Jewish people in this difficult time? What does it mean to have a membership card in the Jewish people? It's about belonging. It's about family. I call it Jewish familyhood. We have a common history, a common experience, a common destiny, a common concern, a common vision of a perfect world, and we worry about each other. The Talmud says, Kol Yisrael Aravim Zeh Bezeh. All the Jewish people are responsible for one another. Now let's be precise and careful. Of course, we Jews believe in Ahavat HaBriot, the love of humanity. We care about all people in the world. It is not us versus them. And of course, we Jews are passionate about repairing the world, tikkun olam. Jews believe in the common human values of peace, justice, righteousness, mercy, law, and compassion. Our imperative is to make the world better. And we do not believe that we are better than any other people or religious tradition. But, having a special concern for our own people, which is called Ahavat Yisrael, love of the Jewish people, is one of the essential commandments of Judaism. It says to love each member of Israel with a soul love. We balance our concern for our own people and our concern for the world. It is not either or, it's both and. Love of humanity and love of the Jews do not contradict each other, they feed on each other. And some Jews today feel uncomfortable with affirming this idea of Ahavat Yisrael, the love of the Jewish people, and that troubles me. Just like we have different levels of responsibility to our families than we do to others, and we have more responsibility to our friends than to strangers, So we as Jews have a particular responsibility to each other. I believe it is our sacred duty at this moment, especially at this moment, to defend our people, to stand up for our people, and to contribute to the building of a global Jewish community in ways large and small. All people are connected. As Martin Luther King famously said, all men, all people are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality tied to a single garment of destiny. But Martin Luther King's focus in life was helping his people, the African American community, because he knew that while he was concerned to all people, he had a special responsibility to his own. I think that we Jews should follow King's vision. The heart of Judaism is a deep commitment to the Jewish people. And if we can be connected to each other, we can work together to better all humanity. Now, Jewish peoplehood is often joyful. And I'm so proud of the next example. Someone should give me a cake. When we find out that a football player is Jewish, we are enthralled. I researched this, I had no idea. Remember Mitchell Schwartz of the Kansas City Chiefs? He grew up in West Los Angeles as a practicing conservative Jew and attended Adat Shalom. His Hebrew name is Mendel. That's Jewish peoplehood. Can anyone believe I quoted a sports figure here? It's pretty scary. Adam Sandler, Scarlett Johansson, Jerry Seinfeld, Steven Spielberg are Jewish. Jewish peoplehood pride moments. Taylor Swift is Jewish. I lied. But you did get excited for a moment. Jewish peoplehood peeking through. Imagine if she converted, that would be a good sign the Messiah has come and all would be well with the Jews. Peoplehood can also lead to embarrassment. When a Jewish person does something shameful, it is a shanda for the Jews, a disgrace. Bertie Madoff and Anthony Weiner and Laura Loomer, they bring a shame. This is Jewish peoplehood. On October 7th, the Jewish people were attacked. Hamas wanted every Jew in the world dead, as does Hezbollah and Iran's Shiite clerical establishment. That is their raison d'etre. We know what happened on October 7th. 1,400 people are dead. It's as if in American numbers, 40,000 people had been slaughtered in one day. 240 hostages were taken, many have already been killed, and the remainder will perhaps never come home. And the reaction overwhelmingly in our community was intense. Anger, fear, depression, desire to gather. And we felt a collective stabbing of our hearts, a special vulnerability, a deep, deep, deep pain. And as Michel Biton summarized it, a very distinguished Orthodox scholar and community leader, I quote her, "This is what Jewish peoplehood feels like. The pain is telling us that the organism is working and that we are still a we." And what has happened in the months that have followed, it is tragic. Anger in the streets of Israel about hostages. Israel's best killed on the battlefield. The Palestinian non-combatants, including women and children, have suffered immensely. And this is a living nightmare for all people. When the phrase is shouted by protesters against Israel, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free," Jews hear a clear demand for Israel's destruction. And that means 7 million Jews do not have a home. And where do they go? No one wants us. This is not solely about Israel. This means the end of the Jews and the Jewish people, and eventually you and me. Now, what does Jewish peoplehood mean to us tonight, for every one of us? It means that we care about Jews everywhere. In Miami, Moscow, Prague, Paris, Buenos Aires, Tel Aviv, Haifa, Toronto, Mumbai. It means that we feel the pain of another Jew as our pain. It means that Jewish history is our personal history. It means that we do everything in our power to find commonality with other Jews. It means that we are dedicated to cultivating the riches of our tradition. It means re-examining the misleading dichotomy between Jews of the diaspora and Jews living in Israel. That dichotomy threatens us. Kansas City and Tel Aviv are 6,557 miles away, but emotionally, historically, spiritually, and practically, we live down the street from each other. A meaningful Jewish life can be nurtured anywhere in the world where there is freedom. But if Israeli Jews think that what happens among American Jews is not relevant to them, or if we American Jews think that what happens in Israel has little to do with us, I fear that we're living in Jewish la-la land. It has never worked that way and never will. And the Jewish people have a special blessing in our time. We are strengthened by fellow travelers, non-Jews, who because of their ties of love, friendship, marriage, and family, affirm Jewish peoplehood without becoming Jews. You profoundly strengthen us. And these are among the toughest times in my life to be a Jew. And affirming Jewish peoplehood is challenging to me. Why? American Jews are too polarized and have taken sides against each other. What does that accomplish? Nothing good. I deplore the current Israeli government. It is anti-democratic and filled with Messianic extremists. I condemn Jewish settlers of the West Bank who have created an intolerable situation for the Palestinians. I spent a lot of time on a rabbinic trip for human rights, being with Palestinians and seeing what they go through. What they go through is intolerable. Progressive Jews like me are oppressed in Israel. But with all of that on the table, it doesn't really change anything for me. We have held it together for 3,500 years, and we better get our act together. We are the Jewish people, an ancient people, an eternal people. There is no room for giving up on each other. Let us speak with mutual concern. Let us say critical words to each other, but let us say those words with a love and affection. Let us not walk around feeling superior to everyone else, but let us affirm Jewish exceptionalism. What we have given to this world is inexplicable and unique. Let us honor all humanity, but care for each other like family. Let us be criticals of Israel when necessary, but let us acknowledge the miracle and the righteousness of its existence. Let us be vigilant in addressing the needs and aspirations of the Palestinians, but let us understand that our people needs care as well. Let us embrace all brands of Judaism. Let us acknowledge let us acknowledge the beauty of our tradition. Let us care for justice and righteousness for all humanity, but let us stand together in a world that often doesn't give justice and righteousness to the Jews. But none of this is possible unless there is a people, the Jewish people, who gave the world scriptures and created the foundation of Western civilization, and who have suffered but never given up hope. And if we let each other down, if we lose faith with each other in our noble vocation, if we can only find criticism and no love in our hearts, we will have let all the generations before us down, and we will have deprived the world the gift that we have given to this world. We should love our family, even when they disappoint us. I have spent my entire life advocating for the Jewish people, even with their flaws. I will continue to do so to the end of my life. Never going to give up. I'm proud of this commitment. This is what grounds me as a Jew, as a rabbi, and as a person. I hope you will join me. Let us say with pride, because we really mean it, and will stand by it, Am Yisrael Chai, the Jewish people lives. Shana Tova.